everyone, and welcome back to my channel, Tomcat Stitchery. I'm Whitney, and today I'm here to share with you my October, the hashtag sewmystyle 2018, the pattern. I think this is the second year almost finished of sewmystyle. I could be wrong, it could be the third. I think it's the second though. And I believe that this month in October, I could be wrong, and correct me if I am wrong, but I think that this might be the first month that they have done a pattern that is not a garment. This month's pattern, you had your choice between two bags. They were both provided by, or both were patterns from Clume House, which I think is a company in Portland, Oregon, I think. I think it's Portland. But anyway, you had a choice between the Portsmouth tote, which was more just like a tote bag, and then the Fremont tote, which was more of like a purse. To be honest, I was not super excited. I was intrigued by the bag when I saw the list of the sewmystyle patterns for the year, but bag making's just never been anything I've been super interested in. I typically have a couple of nice purses that I just kind of carry, you know, a couple for the winter, fall, winter, a couple for the spring, summer. I just don't change my bags out that often. However, Sean from Kittenish Behavior, and I'm going to see if I can find the video, and I will put a card up here if I can, she does a lot of bags and a lot of really inspiring stuff, but she did took a pattern and did a reproduction of a Chloe bag that was amazing and like spot on. And I don't know why, because with clothing, I do a lot of that. Like I find designer inspiration and I will try and recreate it in clothing. I don't know why bags never really occurred to me, but it took seeing that from her to be like, oh my gosh, yes. So that combined with the fact that I think about a month, maybe 2 months ago, a friend of mine came into a lot of leather hides. I think it was actually a furniture store that was going out of business, or anyway, they had a ton of hides that they were using for upholstery. I think she got something like 21 hides. I mean, some ridiculous number of hides. Didn't realize she had committed to buying so many, and so called me and said, hey, I've got these full hides that I'm trying to get rid of. Would you be interested in buying a few? So of course I went down there and got myself one, got one for my mom, got one for my sister. And if you've ever worked with leather at all, a full hide is enormous. I think mine was 60 square feet of leather. So leather comes in square feet versus yardage, because it's obviously irregular because it's the height of the animal. So I got a hide for myself, my sister, and my mom, with the thought my sister and mom paid for theirs, but I make things for my family for free if they provide the cost of the materials. So anyway, I literally have enough of this hide to make myself a skirt, make myself a coat, with some left over. So I decided, you know what, I'm gonna try and mess around with some of this hide and make myself a leather bag, because that's what I carry 90% of the time. I just enjoy a leather bag. I think they're durable, they last forever, you can wipe them down. So anyway, I decided I was going back and forth between the two. The Portsmouth was the easier of the two, but once I got down to it, I'm like, you know, the sewmystyle I was really using to push myself outside of my comfort zone to try new things, but I also want to use things or to make things that I'm going to use and that are actually going to be viable in my closet. So in all honesty, the purse was what I would totally use way more than the tote, because I have a ton of different tote bags and stuff that I use for various odds and ends. So I decided to go for the more advanced pattern, although I think it's still just advanced beginner. It's not a hard pattern. I don't know why I was put off by that. And I guess because I've never really made like a for real purse. I've made bags, you know, with quilting cotton and all that kind of stuff, but I've never really made like a purse. So I don't know why I was nervous about it. But anyway, finally decided to go for the Fremont. Had my leather, was going back and forth. The notions, I think, are what really freaked me out. The hardware and all of that needed to go along with the pattern. I started doing some preliminary like sourcing on Etsy and on eBay and on a couple of other sites that I frequent, and just trying to find all the things that were needed for this pattern, and I got totally and completely overwhelmed. So my advice for anyone that's doing any of these bags for the first time, spend the money on the finishing kits. They also have full kits that also include, I think, waxed canvas and stuff for the actual fabric for either of the bag. Of course, I had my leather, and I had plenty of stuff in my stash to use for lining. So the Fremont's, and I'll show you in a second, is a lined bag. But I paid the $55 plus shipping and taxes for the finishing kit, and I'm so glad that I did. It took so much anxiety out of this project and made it really fun. So I cut this out on a Saturday night, took maybe 20, 30 minutes. Literally, it is 2 rectangles for the outside of the bag, and one rectangle for the big pocket on the outside of the bag, and then 2 rectangles of lining, and then a smaller rectangle for the interior pocket, and that is it. Did not take long at all to cut all that out on Saturday. And then on Sunday, so yesterday, actually, I'm filming this on a Monday. Yesterday, after church, I came home and I sewed the whole thing in 2 hours. And that included the hardware installation, which by far was the most fun part. The bag sewed together in like no time at all. I mean, maybe 45 minutes, maybe. The hardware installation took a little more time, mostly because I didn't have I want one of those leather rotary punches. I'm totally addicted to working with leather right now. But they punch holes in your leather and make installing hardware way easier. I don't have one. They're only like $20, but I don't have one. And I was trying to go a little cheaper. Now, all the stuff in the finishing kit was all pre-punched. So it's just a matter of making what I had work, because I did have a little hole punch that came with my buttonhole chisel that I used, and then kind of just made the holes a little wider in order to fit some of the hardware. The rivets fit fine with what I had. But yeah, 2 hours. 2 hours. I had to go to a soccer game yesterday. I got the entire bag finished in 2 hours. It's amazing. I love it. My husband went outside with me last night to take some pictures. I love when he's available to do that. But anyway, here's the bag. Guys, I am so over the moon. So I'm going to pop some picture of me like wearing it and how I'm kind of going to style it. It comes with handles and also the crossbody. I like having the crossbody strap just because there are occasions where it's nice not to have to to have your arms or hands free, especially with this size of bag. Now, I don't think I wear it crossbody very often, like on a daily basis, only because I'm busty, and crossbody bags always just land right in between the two boobs and just like accentuate things. And I don't find it very flattering. Again, for functionality, yes, I will wear it crossbody if I need to have use of my arms or hands. But most of the time, I feel like I will probably just be holding onto the handles. But I love the handles. And I kind of like the look of the crossbody strap kind of hanging down a little bit. It's got the 2 exterior pockets, like I said, that are perfect for like tossing your phone in and that kind of thing. And they are secured with a rivet in between the 2 pockets. I love this bag. I'm also going to pop some footage of close-ups of the bag. Like I mentioned, the whole finishing kit came with the straps, and they have these nice curved edges around the edge of the straps, so they're not just cut straight. And I do not have the equipment. I know you can buy those stamps or, to do that to your leather strapping, but that's just another cost. And these came that way. The hardware all matches. The zipper was the correct length. They even have this cool little leather tie. I didn't have to cut out any of these teeny tiny pieces. It came with the little leather washers that I didn't have to cut out. I think that would have been a pain if you didn't have like the right tool just to stamp them out. But it came with those to help keep the rivets and screws from sinking into your fabric. I mean, all in all, I just feel like it's a very professionally finished bag, and I am obsessed with it. I used some kind of a real heavy-duty, almost upholstery weight cotton that I had in my stash, like some scraps left over from a client project. For the inside, it's the coral with the polka dots, and I think that's just fun. I love having purses with fun little bits of color and stuff. The finishing kit also came with this adorable Klume House tag. It's Klume House on one side and says I made this on the other side, which is just super cute. And then I put my little Tomcat stitchery in there as well. This purse is going to get a lot of wear. I am so glad that I committed to making all 12 of the patterns this year. It's really, again, especially with this project, definitely pushed me outside of my comfort zone, made me try something that I didn't think I was going to enjoy. And I tell you what, when I was down there with my hammer and punching those holes and then hammering in that hardware, I was like on a high. It was so much fun and like very more intense, much more intense than normal sewing. But it was fun, and I have a wonderful bag that I'm going to be able to use for a really long time. Anyway, if you have not tried it yet, I highly recommend. They have a lot of really other cute bags and various and sundry. Yeah, like I think there was a DOP kit that was just released, and a few different totes and bags and that kind of thing. Definitely head to Clume House. I will link their website down below, of course. And they have kits for everything, finishing kits and then full kits that include fabric too, if that's up your alley. So anyway, I think that's it for today. Thank you for joining me for this Sew My Style pattern review, and I will see you soon. Bye.